Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop onto the charts on this beautiful Wednesday, January 28th, all the way through the month, man, it's crazy. Make sure you read what's on the charts. Trading is very risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of your hard-earned money. It's a silly thing to do. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all for entertainment purposes only. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Lights up on futures, code RDF, Bookmap, Edgeful, and others. Chat, what's going on, guys? How we doing this morning? How are we doing this morning? Get ready to see what the market's got for us on this FOMC day. A little bit early to the jump here. I want to talk about news, talk about the market we got coming up the rest of this week. Give you guys a little bit of insights headed into, a little bit of a different type of week. So happy to get the stream started a little bit. Actually just right on time. Well, not technically a little bit early. How long have we been running for? 8 minutes? Yeah, a little bit early. But good morning, chat. What's going on? Marcy, time pass. What's happening? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Pam, what's going on? Muhammad Dwayne, what's up? What's going on, those on Kick? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, streaming live across YouTube, Kick, and X. Appreciate everybody hopping on. Let's hop into it, guys. We have FOMC day today. Let's take a look at... Don't mind me looking like I'm looking up into the sky. I just have monitors all over me these days. So if it looks like I'm not looking at you, my camera's right here in the middle. And then I literally have screens all the way here to here. And then all the way from here to here. So I got a big control station in front of me. I promise I am looking at a screen. I'm not just like staring out into the middle of space. But I can see my face out of the corner of my eye and like looking up. Maybe I'll have to adjust this. I'll put my camera like really close over that screen or something. But let's take a look at this together. ForexFactory.com. This is my preferred financial news site just to get the list. I do look at a couple different things coming into the morning. I've been looking at more. This past year has just been crazy, man. But what we have coming up today, Wednesday, January 28th, coming into the end of this month, with Monday being February 2nd to start out next week. We've got the FOMC rate, FOMC press conference. Jay Powell is going to rip everybody's faces off, as he usually does. 2 p.m. for the actual data, the actual number, and then the 2:30 p.m. press conference. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, we have unemployment claims. That's another heavy hitter, right? It's another heater. And then we've got core PPI on Friday at 8:30. That ain't nothing, but it's definitely, definitely not an FOMC, an NFP, even unemployment, or like a CPI. So we do have news the rest of this week. Coming into today, guys, with FOMC, right? Instead of me laying out what I think might happen or what I would expect, here's the message that I shared in Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, I'll throw the link in the chat. It's down below this. I have a 100% free trading community. You guys can hop in. I do repeat myself on this. More than happy to have you guys in here. No course, no VIP, no upsell as far as, coaching or something like that from me in there. Just all the sauce, right? If you guys want to read this stuff, get my messages, my mindset on certain things, really up to the minute, stuff that's going on in the markets, and then also my trading, feel free to hop in. But here's what I wrote in there, right? FOMC day today, more news this week. We got big tech earnings, including Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, and IBM. I'm usually not paying attention to earnings. Those are major tech earnings that are almost certainly going to impact the US indices, right? But here's my thoughts for today. Rather than tell you what I expect or tell you what you should expect, here's what you might want to do. Note the context of the news this week, of the earnings being reported this week, and observe the market. If you're trading, you should also be observing. But note the context that we have from a fundamental standpoint here, right? And here's what I would take notes of. Here's the questions I would ask myself, right? After understanding where we're at, and going back on, did the market or whatever you trade act or move any differently than it normally does outside of a week like this? Did it act or trade or move any differently than it normally does, right? Was the volatility and volume any different? What was that like? What were the moves like around the scheduled news events and reported earnings reported? And what were they like before and after? Does it seem to repeat itself relative to the last time this happened? Is there any way you can use being aware of this information to your advantage? How will you approach it next time? That's the thoughts, guys, right? I'm a technically based trader, right? I'm a very technical trader. I really don't pay too much attention to fundamentals. What I do pay, like as far as what the rate is supposed to be, I have no idea. I don't know what the rate is supposed to be. I don't know what it's forecast to be. I don't know what it was last time. I don't have an opinion on what it's going to be and then how the market's going to react. Here's the way that I like to use this in the context of my trading. When is the scheduled news event? What typically happens before, during, and after? Is that somewhat a pattern that repeats itself from a price, volume, and time standpoint? Can I use that to my advantage? The answer for all of those to me is yes, right? So again, as a very heavily focused technical trader, as in like I focus on price action, market structure, volume, and time. Can I take into consideration the context of what's going on from a fundamental standpoint without being a complete idiot when it comes to fundamentals? I think so, and I think you should too as a technically based trader. Again, you can even think of these things in terms of, let me just be aware of where price is before, during, after. Where is volatility? Where is volume, right? All technicals, right? The number side of this before, during, and after. Does that tend to change relative to any other normal Wednesday, right? Is that something that tends to repeat itself? Is there a pattern that tends to play out when FOMC comes around, right? What does that look like? Same thing with earnings. I really don't pay much attention to earnings. You don't hear me talk about earnings. I'm paying a little bit more attention to different things like this in the U.S. stock market this year because I'm swing trading a whole lot more. But if we have a stacked earnings calendar, where we have a lot of the Mag 7 or some of the Mag 7 reporting, right? The largest stocks that are underlying the asset that most of you are probably trading, NQ, right? The NASDAQ 100 futures contract. What does that look like? How does that influence, price action, market structure? Again, not from theoretically the rate is supposed to be this, it's forecast for this, it should go up by this much, price should react to this way. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not what I'm talking about. So again, take that stuff into consideration. I'm not gonna lay too much into it any more than that, right? I'm not going to say, here's what I expect, here's how I, interpret what's going on or what it is. I want you guys to do that work yourself. If you're relying on somebody else to tell you, you're already behind the 8 ball. You're completely behind the 8 ball. And I don't think it takes much time observing and noting, right? Month over month, watching what happens. There is a pattern that tends to repeat itself. So, all of that said, now to the markets, right? That's news coming into today. Back to the markets, right? Back to the markets here. We had ES and NQ put in all-time highs, which is an important note, right? I'd be doing you a disservice, I don't think, if I didn't note this, right? So we got ES and NQ putting all-time highs in. Did NQ? Oh, I'm sorry. NQ did not put an all-time high in. ES put an all-time high in right here, popped to the upside. NQ is lagging behind that. YM certainly lagging behind both of those. As you can see, a whole lot choppier up here, right? Very bullish from a higher time frame structure, right? I think if I showed you from May to today and you somehow said, I said, what's the trend? And you somehow said it's down. The trend is down. We are in the middle of a recession. I don't know, man. Maybe you got to get your eyes checked. For the most part, right? Stupidly simple, but pushed to the upside, right? Higher lows, higher highs. Continue to drive this market higher. As we start to zoom in, look at a little bit less market structure, a little bit more price action on the daily. What do we have? Pretty choppy back and forth action up here, right? We've really stalled out. If we look at what's happened, over the last couple months of data, we haven't had a lot of consolidation this tight up near all-time highs. Not completely abnormal coming into the beginning of the year, right? Nothing crazy. But we started to drop off a little bit, right? We started to not really break structure to the downside, but we've started to fail to get above these highs over and over and over again, and we've continued to try this move to the downside, right? We zoom in a little bit more. We head over to the 15-minute. Fairly zoomed out on the 15-minute, but we head over to the 15-minute lower time frame. What does this look like? Pretty choppy, man. Pretty choppy overall. And what am I expecting? A little bit more of that to continue. One of the general patterns that tends to repeat itself is whatever the market's doing, as dumb as this sounds, this is kind of what you could use as some sauce. Whatever's the market's doing, it tends to keep doing that, right? Is it trending to the upside? it tends to keep doing that, right? That's how trends form. It doesn't tend to just do the complete opposite at every, second in time. Otherwise, we would just be trading crazy back and forth reversals, right? If it's consolidating, it tends to consolidate, right? It doesn't tend to just break out in trend and then consolidate. That's just kind of how the inertia of the market, moves, right? Trends seem to persist. Market does seem to suffer from inertia, right? So again, as a whole today, coming into today, choppy, right? We had an inside bar yesterday, meaning we did not go out and break prior day high or low throughout the entire trading day, right? You can see that on the daily chart, just so you guys know what I am talking about here. Not a really common occurrence, but we did not go and break prior day high or low. We had a bearish bar form to the downside, really pretty cleanly inside. Really tight doji, not doji. Really tight, candle forming for today. Very, very low movement out of YM coming into this open, 9:25 a.m. Eastern. It's a tight candle, very tight daily candle. Exactly, we don't have to guess. It is exactly 138 points here in YM. Very tight, nowhere near an average daily range or, coming into the open of NYSE, even an average session range, right? So we got some room to move, but like we were talking about, I'm not going to give you too much. FOMC, right? Coming into FOMC at 2 p.m. Maybe you look at the charts. You look at what this looks like, coming into FOMC every day, in the past. What does that look like? Maybe it's choppy. Maybe it's rangy. I'm not expecting a massive movement ahead of FOMC at 2 p.m. We could certainly get one. Trump could sneeze and we could rocket 1,000 points. Right? Anything can happen. But here's what I'm looking at. Opening up balanced, right? Relative to yesterday's candle for this overnight session through Asia and London. Very choppy, very tight, like we saw in the daily. 138-point range. Opening up right above VWAP here. That's what it looks like. A couple minutes to NYSE open. Really right around just a few points above prior day's volume point of control, VPOC. We're at an area of high volume. We're literally sitting at, well, if I zoom in a little bit, it's going to come back. The temporary volume point of control for visible range volume profile. Very balanced open here. A little bit low in this very choppy range, right? If I zoom out and get a higher time frame view, a little bit low in that range, right? So here's my trade ideas coming into the open. And I wanted to hop on a little bit early because I got two that are setting up. If we go and we sweep prior days low, we test this zone, this discretionary area of interest, I'm looking for a long. I got a line down here, right? I got an arbitrary line down here. I got a zone. I think that would be a pretty clean spot for a long. I think I'd be dead wrong if we trade 200 points below this, if we just rip to the downside, right? So I'd like a long in here, maybe above or at this this level right here, the 48,941s, right? We push to the upside for a long, obviously, right? We push to the upside off of the open. I could see the exact opposite. I'd be liking a short, right? I'd be liking a short up here. Let's move this up just a little bit. Let's say at or below the 49,320s, right around that level. I'll be looking for a short, right? We pop to the upside. We come out of this area that we're trading at. I'm going to fade that initial movement, right? We come back up to this zone. I'm going to look for that mean reversion trade today, guys. I'm going to trade what's in front of me, which is a pretty balanced open right at VWAP. I'm looking to trade this way really at any point if we're not having a super big movement to the upside or downside. I'd love an untested volume point of control. I'd be lying if I said I would like an untested volume point of control that I could trade towards. But we don't have that. I'd be trading back down towards it, back down towards this area of high volume, right? So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. It's a mean reversion style trade off of the open. I don't see a continuation style trade, especially today. And this aligns with the context that it's FOMC. We're coming into 2 p.m. We're kind of chopping up here around all-time highs. We may be waiting for unemployment, FOMC, to really get, some movement out of this market. So that's what I am looking at. That's what I'm looking at coming into today. That's my play. Do I have to trade off of one of these levels? Do I have to take a short at the 49,320s? No, right? If I wanted to do that, I would just set a limit order, right? I would literally just be setting a a limit sell, right? I'm not doing that. I use some discretion. Maybe we just blast off. Maybe we don't do anything. Maybe we put some price action market structure down here first that doesn't look too ideal. So for those of you that are new, I am a discretionary trader, as is, whether they like to admit it, almost every single trader that you will watch on YouTube or Kick or X or anywhere else, applying discretion, even if they use a very, very, very systematic and mechanical approach, unless it's 100% objective and can be coded into an algorithm, they are a discretionary trader. So, let's see what we get, guys. Markets opened up. Best of luck to everybody, even though I don't think you should be relying on luck if you are trading these markets. I think you should be trading the system. You're ready to take your wins or losses. So let's see if we can get this movement to the upside, which it looks like we're going to try right off the open. Like I talked about, guys, I don't always have an aggressive trade. A lot of times I am just staying more patient. I don't always have a right off of the open trade. But today, I may have one. Today, I may have one. Let's see. Looks like we want to go try these highs. Let's see what we get here. Pushing to the upside here, guys. I may try this one. Again, it's pretty aggressive. It is counter to the initial movement right off of the open. But I like this for a mean reversion play. I'm gonna see if we can't go and grab these three, let's say 315s to 320s, come right to the top end of this this area of high volume. If we revert right back down on this, obviously it is a invalidation. It really wouldn't be a good setup after that. But let's see if we could pop a little bit higher on this, and I might look to fade it. We'll get a trade rolling right off the open. Again, could we just rip right through to this next area of high volume? Yes, right? In which case I would be dead wrong. So let's see. And I know I'm not talking to you guys in the chat because I got a potential trade setting up here. What is this setting that's on my? I'm gonna have to look at what the hell updated on. Nope, not gonna give it to me. We're gonna go right back to VWAP on this one. It looks like it. Quick push to the upside, 125 points, and then right back down to VWAP. This is what I would have liked. Really right here. Yep. So close, but no cigar, right? 30 points away from my level of interest. Like I said, 315s to 320s, not even 25 points. Yeah. That's that mean reversion trade right off the open that I was looking for, guys. Really aggressive. Just not enough. Not really enough. And that's not really a big enough movement. You know, I think you guys know I'm usually looking for a little more than 100 points out of this. It's really not a big enough movement to grab a quick W on this. So we'll see. We'll see what we get from here. That's what I was looking at into the open. Exactly this. A quick crack to the upside and then a push right back down. Didn't quite get that. Got to push to the upside, but not really enough for me to get involved just yet. We come back through the highs on this. I like it a whole lot less. I really don't like it nearly as much now. Right. But we'll have to see. But good morning, good morning. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's good, Dre, Cyrus, Dr. AK. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, guys? Chris, what's happening? What prop firm did you give away yesterday? Top 1 futures. It's top 1 futures every damn day, guys. Morning, y'all. Lucid have just announced Trade-Evate is down. Ooh. Trade-Evate? I don't know about that. Trade-Evate having issues? Trade-Evate joking on us. Bookmap looking weird. Yeah, Bookmap looking a little bit weird. Yeah, you guys let me know. Is Tradeovate having issues session wide, like industry wide, or is just Lucid having issues? I'd be interested to hear. Would be interested to hear. That would be the first time I've ever heard of Tradeovate being down. It's not working. Ooh. So guys, for you guys that are sharing across platforms, oh, global outage. Wow. Wow, Tradeovate down, man? Wow. Yeah, so be cautious, guys, if you're on Tradeovate. Really? 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 Tradeovate having issues, huh? Just not, I would not be trading on Tradeovate at all this morning until they resolve whatever they got going on. Wow, crazy to see, man. Crazy to hear that Tradeovate having an issue. Wow. Wow. Sorry, guys. Reading a couple notes on this now, just taking a look. Let me make a note. Alert child in my Discord. Crazy. I'm obviously not on Tradeovate right here, right now, so I don't have the ability to tell you what's working and what's not working. But yeah, crazy, man, crazy. Yeah, I see a couple of I see somebody cursed and got deleted in my chat. Whoever that was, I'll unblock you when it does that. But yeah, as a whole, somebody said back to Project X. As a whole, yeah, I have not seen a lot of issues like that at all out of Tradeovate. But that's not good. That's definitely not good. Definitely not good. Yeah, it's platform wide. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys asking. Yeah, it's not working global. I just can't place trade. Yep, major issues. Mine's stuck. My funded net. Yeah, it's platform wide. It's platform wide, meaning that like the platform's having an issue. Like somebody named a prop firm, and sometimes obviously like one connection can be having an issue, right? Like maybe it was an issue with like Lucid and Tradeovate, but it doesn't sound like it was. It's platform wide. Everybody that's trading on Tradeovate, which is a trading platform and a brokerage, you know, is having an issue. So yeah, I wouldn't touch it, man. Wouldn't touch it right now. Crazy. They're the heavy hitter in the space, so crazy to hear that they're having an issue, for sure. Now, here's where my mind goes with it, right? One issue today being down at the open, that's a problem, right? That's disappointing. That's upsetting. Somewhat acceptable if it hasn't happened in 6 months and it doesn't happen again for another 6 months. Maybe if it hasn't happened in 3 months and it doesn't happen again for another 3 months. Does it happen again tomorrow and the next day and then next week and then the week after that? That's a problem. Like, that's a big problem. That's something that, you know, is displaying a lack of reliability. Not what I expect at all, but I'm drawing the comparison against what I'm trading on right here, which is Project X, where it's been issue after issue after issue, right? Again, 1-2 issues, first couple issues out of Project X. You know, nobody getting their pitchfork and, you know, torch and saying burn them at the stake, right? You know, something that repeats itself, that continually, you know, has issues over and over and over again, especially major ones, you know, that tends to be an issue. Tends to be a problem. So, well, crazy to hear. Yeah, keep me updated. Let me know what you guys see. Sending a message here. All right, watching this market do what I wanted it to do, but not quite enough. Popped right to the upside here, guys, off the open. This was the move that I wanted to see. Just not enough. Just not enough, right? If I'm going to enter really aggressively short, I'm going to sell into a push to the upside. I'm going to be waiting for, you know, again, like I was giving myself to the 315s. I think when I hopped on here, I had this right down here. 315s to 320s, right above session highs from yesterday. NYSE session highs, that is. That's what I was looking for a really aggressive short on the way back down. So not tagged in on that, right? Not, you know, not something that I was able to get myself into. So gonna sit patient on it. Yeah, looking at you guys comment in the Discord as well and in the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah, Ninja's part of Tradeovate, so I would assume that they're having issues as well. Back to Rhythmic. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Rhythmic at all. I've seen Rhythmic have a lot of issues. News later, yes. News at 2 p.m. today, FOMC. We talked about that. You can start the live from the beginning if you want to hear the detailed breakdown on news. At least what I was talking about news-wise coming in. Let's see. Good morning, Gus. What's happening? Marcy, what's happening? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Mine also stuck. Yeah, we're talking about that. There's a sign. I already feel like I shouldn't be trading this morning. Yeah. Morning, Alan. What's going on, guys? Yeah, probably not the worst day to have to sit out, FOMC. Probably not the worst morning to have to sit out if you do have to sit out. But frustrating nonetheless. Definitely frustrating. I feel that, man. Yeah, so watching this market, man, not really getting a setup on this at all. You know, now if we come back up, just to give you guys the lower time frame view, right? Drop to the 1 minute, really zoomed in. If we come back up on this is really not my play, right? Why? Why would this not be what I'm looking for? Well, this was the movement I was looking for, right? Not this movement. That's not what I was looking for, right? This was the movement I was looking for. Didn't quite get that. We stopped, you know, 30 or so points short. It's not like it really even got real close to my level. If we do this, I think we have more of an opportunity to do this, right? Not go back in time, but more of an opportunity to pop to the upside, right? If we come back through the high of session to the upside here, I do think we have more of an opportunity to potentially push this market higher coming into FOMC. I don't really foresee that happening. That's not what I'm going to trade for. But this is setting up for a slow, choppy morning, man. Slow, choppy morning so far. Looks like ES popped to the upside, but hasn't really been able to follow through. NQ looks like it dipped lower and then immediately popped to the upside. So not really in alignment as usual, or as of recent, these ones. We come lower, I could still potentially look for the buy. Again, I don't like it as much. I really don't like it as much to look for the buy on this one. But if we do crack prior day's low, we get down towards that 49,000 evens level, I could look for that. It's definitely something I could look for. So gonna sit patient on this one. Back to VWAP. Nothing really to do. Again, FOMC for me. Not looking to do anything crazy today. Off the open, mean reversion setup for sure. Something I really like in a day like today, especially the structure we had, you know, technically coming into this open. Didn't quite get that. Now, patience, man. Patience. Not a terrible week for me. It's been small green across the board last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Nothing to write home about, but keeping it green. Working towards some profit, back into profit on this Top 1 Futures 15K pre-live account that I've been trading with you guys almost every damn day. Gonna see what we can do on this one. Let's see what we can do on this one today. Let's see. Build a platform, Zach. We gotta put some trades in. Yeah, no, that's a tall task for sure. Long gold in profit, but can't trail stop or manage trade. Oof, oof. Selling NQ, nice. Let's see it. Let's see the sell-off for you. Slothfather in a personal account, and it's fine on Trade of 8. Nice. Okay, yeah, so it could be, we have somebody from Kick saying that Trade of 8 fine in a personal account. Could be prop firm, related connections, like Trade of 8 prop having an issue. But we'll see, man. As a whole, if I'm on a platform, if I've traded on a platform that I know starts to have issues, major issues, my protocol, what I really like to do, especially if it's not a prop firm, hands off, right? Like, I would try to get out of everything, cancel all orders. I wouldn't knowingly continue to trade on a platform that I know is having issues for that day. That's, I think you're asking for it at that point, right? For lack of a better way to put it. So I'm interested to see if we come down and we sweep Asia London lows. I don't know that I want this above prior day low, but I'm curious to see if we start to come down here. Let me hop out to like the 1 hour, even the 4 hour, because I'm so zoomed in here. We start to come lower, man. I'm not gonna mind the long, right? I'm not gonna mind the long. I would have loved to take it really aggressively as we broke lower without that happening first, without cracking above Asia London highs and then coming lower. But I don't mind it if we did start to sell off here. I'm certainly not going to get long off VWAP. I think that's a silly thing to do. Or just for me. It's not my setup. Not a silly thing to do. I'd be looking in here, man. Down around the 49,000 evens, maybe a little bit lower. I was looking aggressively long on the 48,941s. But I certainly like the 49 evens, 49,000 evens, big round psychological number. You can see how that's come into play multiple times, right into this discretionary area right here, this zone. So I'd be interested to see if we come lower. Maybe I'd be looking at a long play, right? Same kind of thesis that we just kind of chop ahead of FOMC, that we kind of just do this, right? Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we don't move back in time. Maybe we just do this, right? Maybe it's much tighter. This is a very tight range so far. And then maybe at 2 p.m., we do this, right? We decide which way we want to go. So could see a potential long setting up here, guys. Could see a potential long setting up here. Shorts, I don't like it as much. If we came back through these highs, I don't like it as much. I could maybe. I'm going to have to see what happens as we get up here. Maybe, right? If this thing doesn't have enough juice to come to the outside and we're not really going to push higher, maybe. But I don't like it as much. Let's see. Oh, Zach, I made 1.1K in 3 days, but today lost 1K. Back to zero. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good, Time Pass Core, man. That's not good. That sounds like your losing days are outweighing your winning days. I would ask yourself these questions, right? Not so much whether, why you made or lost money, right? The market's going to do whatever it's going to do. Hopefully you have an edge, that you're going to track. I would take a look at, what your winning trades look like, right? Are you closing out all of your trades for a very small profit and then holding your losers all the way for a huge loss? Are you stopping trading on a green day, at $300 or $400 in profit, and then, you're going to have a $1,000 losing day? It's okay, but that's what your P&L is going to look like a lot, right? So I would take into consideration your risk to reward, right? Your average winning trade, average winning day versus your average losing trade, average losing day. And majority, unfortunately, right, have it flip-flopped. We know most traders are losing money. One of the reasons they are losing money is they're so damn good at holding their losers. They're so damn good at having losing days and continuing on trading. And they're not great at holding their winners, right? If we try to flip that on its head and say, I'm going to control my downside. I'm at max going to have a $500 losing day, maybe for you, or a $1,000 losing day. But on my green days, I'm going to look to have a lot larger profit, right? It's always easier said than done. You do have to work with the market, what it's given you. But for the most part, most traders have that backwards. They have a very big outsized losses where they clean out their accounts and lose everything. And they have real small winning days. They're trading with a very, very, very negative risk reward, in general. So I would try to flip that on its head. And if you're not going to flip it on its head, just realize the downside of that, the reality of what that's going to look like for a P&L. And then I would dig even deeper. Just as we're talking about, I was answering someone in the chat, watching this thing move lower. I would dig even deeper, right? What does your trading day look like? This is the basic stuff, guys. Super basic. But most traders don't do this, right? I made a couple of videos where I was repeating myself, but I think it's interesting to think that way. Most traders don't look at they don't review. They don't look at their results. They don't say, well, on my winning days, I take one trade and then I stop. But on my losing days, I take a loss and then I take 4 other losses. And if I just stopped after the first loss like I do on my winning day, I'd probably balance out a little bit, right? Maybe you shouldn't stop on your first, winning trade, right? If you're going to trade more than one time a day, more than a low frequency of trading the way that I do. Look at that stuff. Look at what your trading day looks like. How are you getting to the results that you're getting to? What's working? A little bit more of that. What's not working? A little bit less of that. It's really as simple as that, right? It really is. And I know that can sound basic. Most traders don't do that. The majority will not. And the majority will lose money. So you have to try to flip that on its head. If you can. Chat, you guys having issues with Trade Evade? Yeah, we talked about that. Trade Evade issues. Plot twist. Trade Evade prop paused their connection to protect traders from blowing accounts. There you go. Yeah, I don't know if that's what happened. Zach, should I take any more trades since what happened? I don't know, brother. I don't know. I can't speak for you. I don't know what your trading looks like exactly, and I would be doing you a disservice to tell you what to do. Yeah, so throw this in Discord, brother. I won't make the whole live session about your individual situation. Throw this in Discord. If you want, a little bit more of a detailed review from me, I'm happy to share that in Discord because I think other people can benefit from seeing what, your situation is and then maybe the way that I would consider it. So throw it in Discord. Share the whole thing. You could write a paragraph or you could share some screenshots, and I'm happy to give you my 2 cents in a voice message. But I think you're in Discord already, so throw it in there, man. And then maybe at some point later in the day, after the live session, I'll give you my 2 cents. But again, that's all it's going to be is my 2 cents, right? We're all going to be different, and there's not going to be a right or wrong. It's just going to be a right for you, that you have to decide for yourself. But I'll give you my opinion. Yeah, sorry to be locked into the markets, guys. Also, not sorry, but locked into the markets because I'd like to get a damn trade on here, but I don't want to trade chop, right? I don't want to trade FOMC chop. Almost always, pre-big red folder news, not always, but almost always, I hear a lot of quiet out of the trading community, which means a lot of blown accounts. Or I see a lot of blown accounts of traders that have just chopped themselves to absolute bits, right? So I'm looking for a long from the extreme. If we can get one, this is a really tight range, man. So we'll have to see. We shall have to see. We shall have to see, chat. I got a feeling we kind of just chop around in a really tight range. I'm not going to trade it. I'm not going to trade from here. But I'm kind of getting the inclination that we might just do this. Right down here the way that we did. And then back up here. And then kind of just really tightly chop around here, man. This is not a big trading range. Is it a 200-point range? Yeah, 202-point range so far for the daily, less for this session so far, right? Here's our session high. Here's our session low. Very, very tight range. I got a feeling we could do this. I'm going to wait to see if we could do this, right? That's what I'm going to trade for. I'm going to wait to see if we can pull one of these. If we can, again, I think that gives me a little bit better way to structure risk. You know, on a choppy type of movement, trading from the extreme. You know, if I get involved here, you know, for something like this, I think you still could be right, you know, on your thesis that we chop for the day. But unfortunately, you take a wick out, right? You take a stop out. So, you know, if this is all we do, I'm not going to have a trade. I'm not going to try to be a super scalper, try to be a hero ahead of FOMC. I don't need to do that at all. If we can get a little bit of a move to the outside, especially a sweep of prior day low, you know, before FOMC, I might look for a long right back up into the trading range. You know, it just depends on what that looks like. You know, we could just dip right here and then come right back in, kind of like what we did here. This would have been nice, right? This is what I was looking for, guys, for those of you that hopped on late. This was my area of interest. Had we got something like this hit, that wouldn't have been too bad, right? Whoa. Something along these lines, just roughly talking about that. That would not have been too bad for a really aggressive mean reversion style trade on YM here into the open, but we didn't do that. So now we're sitting patient. We'll hang out. We'll wait to see. Never know. Market could start moving. We'll get somebody funded with an insta-funded account because you know we do giveaways for straight to funded accounts here on this stream almost every day. We're not doing anything just yet. I did say we were gonna run stuff early. Maybe we run stuff a little bit early today, but we're gonna see. Let's see. Tomcat Passcore. Yeah, man, throw some stuff in Discord. Like I said, throw a big write up in Discord to the person in chat that's you know, that's sharing a lot, man. I'm happy to try to give you guys, you know, my 2 cents, give you guys the juice, and I don't mind doing that because I think it could be, you know, helpful for others. I'm not going to turn the whole live stream into answering, you know, all of these questions, but I also encourage you to do something and tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do math for you, right? I'm not going to do the math for you. So you asked a question there, which was, could you tell me what profits should I make in a day for a 15% consistency rule, $2,500 payout cap? You need to know that. You need to do that math, right? If you don't know that, sit down and watch one of my videos on the consistency scores or any of the other ones that are out there and do the simple math yourself. If you don't know what that is, you don't stand to make it, you know, to make it to a payout. You'll never make it to a payout because you don't understand the rules. So that's not me not wanting to help you or not wanting to do. That's not me not wanting to spoon feed somebody because I'm not going to be there to spoon feed anybody else the same way nobody is. That's why signals don't work, right? You know, you have to understand those rules yourself. So, you know, make sure you do that. Ninja Trader just came back to life. There are problems with Tradeovate. Yeah, we talked about that. What I miss? What's up? Not much. Is this trading platform still available? No. This is Project X, and no. For new accounts, not still available. Which is good, because this platform melted down into the end of last year, beginning of this year. I would not recommend anybody touches that. Unfortunately, you know, Tradeovate having an issue today. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. We'll see how it's handled. We'll see if it persists. You know, if you want to watch the issues on Project X, you know, feel free to watch one of my latest YouTube videos. Just a bit of good news. Top One did a great job of migrating my Project X account to Tradeovate. Nice. Awesome. So random Tradeovate going down. Yeah. Woke up a bit early to test out London session. Ended up breaking even for the day. I think I'm done and out for the shop fest. Yeah, guys, again. Why? Like, I hopped on early. You can go back and watch the beginning. I hopped on early. And it's only 10 o'clock. We don't know what this is going to look like all day. But I talked about news. I talked about reviewing when news is and what conditions typically look like leading into the news event, during the news event, and after the news event, right? I usually try not to just waste my time yapping for no reason. And if I'm talking about something that's a little bit different maybe than what I'm usually talking about, there's usually a reason for that. Look at the market. Look at what we were talking about today. I'm not super smart. I don't have all of this figured out. This is really obvious stuff, right? So, you know, think about that. But to Cyrus, who said that, I don't think that's a bad idea, right? I'm no trade so far. I'm not looking to be a hero. We're trading in a very tight, choppy, consolidating range. Could this have been anticipated? Potentially. I think so. So again, let's see what we get. Let's see what we get for the rest of the session, right? For those of you guys that are on Tradeovate and NinjaTrader, I'm curious to hear. Still having issues? Are you still having issues? Reading some announcements from different firms. Yeah, NinjaTrader experiencing a platform-wide pricing issue. Yeah, interesting to see, guys. Really interesting to see. We're gonna have to figure this one out. Yeah, again, guys, if you hopped on late, because I know we always got people hopping on different times. Tradeovate having issues this morning. Tradeovate NinjaTrader, crazy to see a major outage from them. Different reports. I can't get a super clear answer. What I've got so far is that it's been platform-wide. So a couple people in live accounts saying that they weren't having issues. I'd be extremely cautious. I would not trade on a platform as you know it's having issues. I would just stop whatever you're doing. If you're in a trade and having issues, if you were trying to trade and had issues, I would screen record and take screenshots. Best thing you could do is screen record what's happening in real time, showing the day and the time on your screen, and then also that you have a proper internet connection across everything. This way, it's really hard to dispute that the issue was any other reason outside of the prop firm or platform. I think it sucks to have to do that. It sucks to have to think like that, but that's the reality, right? You know, it sucks to do a lot of things in life that are preventative measures. You know, if you start to have a platform issue, right? And this happened to me. My first taste of this was in a live account. In my own personal Forex broker, I had a major issue that was very scary. It was as it was happening. And I didn't take screenshots or videos, and I had plenty of time to. And all I did was reach out after the fact. And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. So, you know, protect yourself. Protect yourself, for sure. That's what I would be ready to do. Obviously, you're not trading live like me right here. I would have a screen recording, you know, protocol right away. As soon as you notice any issue, immediately screen recording. If you're trading from your phone, same thing. I would immediately start that, and I would leave it on for the remainder of whatever you're doing. And then for me, I try not to press my luck. This has turned into a game. I will say this out loud, and a couple people have disputed me on this, and I know it's a game for a fact because I have my ear to the ground. I have communities where we have thousands of members, right? You know, I could see it across socials as well. It's turned into a game where as soon as a prop firm or platform has issues, traders expect those issues to be rectified with, you know, free accounts or resets after the issue, and they've turned to full porting their accounts. I think you're playing a dangerous game there. Maybe you want to be smart about it and you want to do that. I think you're playing a really, really, really dangerous game where you full port all your accounts and the prop firm, like we've seen this year, doesn't come back to help you out. You know, doesn't say, oh, nope, it wasn't you know, industry-wide. We don't know. You don't have any recordings. You get nothing. So, you know, I'd be cautious of doing that. But you know, it's the topic of the morning, right? You guys are having issues, so I think it's important to talk about this stuff. How, me personally, how I would look to handle that: screen record, screenshots right off the bat, and then hands off. You know, I really don't need to push it when I know a platform is having issues. Does it suck? Could your opportunity be there? Absolutely. But you're adding in this layer of risk, which is maybe I can't drag a stop loss out. Maybe I can't take profit. Maybe I can't enter the trade or close the trade, or something crazy happens. A ghost order gets set because I clicked a button and then it fills late. Maybe pricing's off. I can't really tell what's going on. Unnecessary, man. Trading's is hard enough as it is, especially in a live account. In a live account, I would, you're insane if you start to do anything on a platform that you know is having issues in a live account. You're a psychopath, man. There's no resets in a live account. There's no getting money back from the market, you know, in a live account, you know, where you may or may not have issues. So prop firms, you know, there's a cap downside risk. It's just the price of the account, you know, but even then, maybe you're in a funded account, right? You're in profit. You're ready to take a payout, you know, a live account. So I'd be cautious there, guys. But that's my protocol for it. Really, as a whole, also, I've talked about this. Anytime anything starts to get jacked up for me, I tend to find that I don't trade better. I don't do better. So, like, if, for example, I'm using Bookmap for a trade, and this has happened to me on live sessions, all of a sudden Bookmap starts tripping out. I can't really see orders. I was using this. For the most part, it's better to just kind of get out of your trade, just close out your trade, and then, not try to work with, some tech issue while money's on the line. If you don't have to do that, which as retail traders, we don't have to do anything, don't do that. Don't put yourself in that position where, the odds are stacked now even more against you and you just continue on. If you don't have to. So that's the thought. Yeah, just tried a quick sell now on NQ and it didn't take, but I'm going through TradingView, so I don't know if it was TradingView or Tradeovate. Yep, it's frozen again. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this, guys. Definitely wouldn't touch it. I was able to easily cancel the order and say working orders for a couple minutes. It's a clear no trade day. Hit all-time highs yesterday, FOMC afternoon, and platform issues. Sit in your hands, guys. Preserve capital for a high probability trade that is worth putting on capital. Yeah, I would agree 100%. This is such an easy go touch grass day. Like, guys, this is if you're an intraday futures trader who trades on TradingView and, we're pre-FOMC, this is a really easy, you know what? Today's not the day. I'll set some alerts on TradingView or I won't. I'm going to go handle some shit in my outside life and, and take care of business, right? Market's going to have days where it's choppy. We're going to have platform issues. Use those to your advantage, right? Like traders are the only group that, since the market's always moving, there's opportunities where, like, if for some reason the work we do is interrupted, we're like sitting here waiting to trade, dying to get back on, trying to trade through it, right? If you worked for any office, you worked, in a machine shop and, there was a power outage or, some line blew, you're not like sitting at the machine like, oh, I can't wait for it to come back on, or, you know what, I'm going to run the hydraulic press while it's having an issue and maybe like, I'll blow it up. So, no, don't do that if you don't have to, guys. Don't do that if you don't have to. Anyway, let's see what this market's got. Pushing the downside here, coming down to test the lows. Again, I'm not going to push anything. I'm not going to look to force any trades. But like I said, if we trade down around yesterday's low, down below that, I am going to look long. Something I mapped out from pre-market. I'm not on Tradeovate, so, I'm not worried to take a trade here on Project X. At least for now, because Project X has been the problem child of the bunch. But in the meantime, guess what we're gonna do? Somebody take a guess what we're gonna do. We're gonna run a giveaway early today, guys. We're gonna run the Top 1 Futures giveaway early today. I talked about doing that a little bit. Talked about trying to keep you guys on your toes. Guess what? We ain't even waiting for a like count. We ain't waiting for nothing. Check it out, guys. The link to fill out the form for the giveaway is live in Discord. Real quick. Not asking for likes. Not asking for nothing. Hardly giving you guys any heads up. We're going to run it early today, guys. We're going to run it early today. So go ahead, get this form filled out. I will display this banner real quick. Go ahead and get the form filled out in Discord. If you're not in the 100% free Discord, you don't know what I'm talking about. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, guys. Hop in the free Discord. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. I'll give you a short 5 minutes to get this one filled out. Boom! It's giveaway time. Go ahead, get this one filled out. It's going to be for an instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. A 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I see you guys can't get in. Hold on. We're good. Let's see. Form closes at Let's go for 10, 13 a.m. 3 minutes. Go ahead, get it filled out, guys. We're going to get somebody funded with a 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. Shout out Top 1 Futures for supporting me, supporting you, supporting the stream. You guys got 3 minutes to get it filled out. Don't fill it out more than one time. Use a good username and email and information. And go from there. We'll reward you guys that are on the stream early today. Now watch at 11 o'clock when everybody pulls up and goes, wait a minute, what happened to the forum? What happened to the forum? Yeah, link is good, guys. Form's corrected. As we start to come lower here, chatty McChat. I'm gonna have to run this on the side. While you guys are getting this one filled out, and it's going to close in about 2 minutes. Quick plug for Top 1 Futures. They are currently 60% off your first or next account on TradeOvate, NinjaTrader, TradingView. Code RDF gets it done. They have also recently had a rule change for the better. They widened out the max loss limit from 3% to 4% across all accounts. This, in my humble biased opinion, is one of the best instant funded accounts on the market, man. Go ahead, check it out. Remember, do your own research. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. Important for you to know that. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. These are the accounts that I trade with. These are the accounts I've been pulling payouts with this since they launched, which has been pretty sweet. But yeah, man, feel free to check them out. Got out of my old trade in profit. Not going to be a lunatic in trade anymore until problems are fixed. I was already in a trade when the problem started. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, man. Yeah, I'd be cautious. I would definitely be cautious. Slothfather on kick. No reason to try to be a hero, man. No reason to try to be a hero. So, guys, again, giveaway form is live. Make sure that you are live on YouTube. If you're hearing this delayed, go down to the bottom of YouTube. You could always make sure that you're live by looking at the little thing on the bottom to the left-hand side to make sure that it says live, that you're here on the in the close to as real time as you possibly can. But go ahead and get this one filled out, and we'll run a duck race. Run a duck race coming up pretty soon. But form is getting ready to close out right now. Chatty McChat. All right. Form is closed out. Form is closed out. Remember, you have to hang out. You got to be here in chat. And I'm going to do something else, guys. I'm going to do something else for you. Let me give you guys the fair warning. I'm going to run this one early. Not the fair warning, but I'm going to give you guys the heads up. For those of you that are on here early, hanging out, congrats. There's less people in this giveaway, as expected. We're running it early today. Just a little heads up. Like I said yesterday, we may or may not run multiple giveaways on stream. So I know everybody likes to be here for the giveaway. Some people, you got things to do. You can't always be hanging out trying to win an account. I get it, man. You do what you got to do. But don't say that I didn't warn you that we were going to run them early. We're going to run them late. We might run multiple in one day. I don't know. We're going to run this one quick, guys, but I'm watching this market sell off, and I'm actually looking for a long. So give me a second here. The ducks are ready to go. The ducks are ready. We are going to run the ducks right here, right now. Give me about 30 seconds. I just want to see if we start to dip down here below this prior day low, down towards this 49,000 evens. Kinda interesting, chat. Kind of interested in this long. All right, we'll run the ducks, and I'm going to look for a trade as we're running ducks. All right, guys. Good luck, everybody. This is for a 50K Ignite instant funded account. Remember, you got to be here in the chat. Remember, we run these almost every damn day. Random days, random times on the live stream. You got to be here for a chance to win. No purchase necessary. Like I said, I'm going to start changing it up. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes. We're going to run some early. We're going to run some late. We're going to run some at different times. Maybe we run more than one. Maybe we run one later if we hang out on this trash FOMC choppy day. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the fun of doing this stuff with you guys. Oh, let's see. Today I win. Working, you lose confidence, you lose rich. Yeah, I hear that. Currently dealing with these issues. Nate, I feel you, man. Today, the account is for Honduras. Zach, what's good? We haven't spoken. Tom, what's up? Currently traveling in Thailand. Awesome, dude. Crazy. What time is it over there in Thailand, man? Quack, quack. Yeah, hella ducks in the chat. Thank you, man. Loving it so far. Cool. Awesome, man. That sounds epic. Trader Bait's back. Okay, be cautious, guys. Be cautious. I'll win only if there are 10 giveaways. Well, we've had times on here. Ooh, it's late. 10:16 p.m. We've had times on here where we've given away more than 10 accounts on one stream. I can say that truthfully. Race so early. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Like I said, guys, I don't know. Maybe we see more than one race today. I don't know. Maybe we finish this race. We go back to trading. It's very early. Maybe we see what it looks like around 11 o'clock. I'm not sure. How would I know? It's only me back here behind the screen. Never too late for a live session. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Appreciate you hopping on. Let's see. 51 seconds to go. We're going to get somebody funded here with an instant funded, straight to funded account from Top 1 Futures. Remember, if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, code RDF is going to get you 60% off. Link is going to be in the chat again for you guys. You want to support me, support yourself with the best deal. There it is for you. Grandma me wants another account. Nice. Let's see, 15 seconds to go. It's me trades out front. Kobe Clark, Paul Memphis, Sabid Ali, Mystic Rick making a run for it. Normal in the middle. Uh-oh. Oh, Slothfather trading. Wait a minute. We got W's from the man who is always in the kick chat. W's in the chat. The bear suit duck took the win on this one. I know he's here. You're not going to see it in YouTube. He is here on Kick. There he is. Let's go. Finally, man. I think that's round 1 for you. Finally catching the W on that. Very nice. Very nice. Slothfather, you will get an email from Top 1 Futures. Let me go ahead and mark this. You will get an email from Top 1 Futures with this account after the stream. W's in the chat for Slothfather. We're going to get back to the markets. Guys, remember, if you didn't win, first off, I'm not going anywhere. Whoa. Wait a minute. We got some other stuff to show, but that's not what I was trying to show. If you didn't win and you want to check out Top 1 Futures, code RDF gets you 60% off your first or next account. And the better max loss submit, 4%, man. Better deal than you're going to find anywhere else, or at least as good as. You want to check it out, link is in the chat. Now, as far as the giveaways, remember, maybe we run more than one giveaway today. Maybe we run one early. Maybe we run one late. Maybe we run them all at the same time. You got to be on the live streams to catch them, guys. I'm going to be changing it up on you for sure. I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of view count just for the sessions. Also, if you're in Discord only, the form might not drop in Discord. Plot twist. Keeping y'all on your toes. Anyway, you're gonna have to be here on the live stream in order to catch it, guys, just as a heads up. So, back to the markets. Congrats, Slothfather, on taking the win. Remember, I'm not going anywhere. We ran it early. I'm not done trading. It's only 10:20 here. I'm going to see what this market's got for us, man. So far, very choppy, sweeping session highs and lows, coming right back in. Not quite giving me the long or the short on this one just yet. Kind of just chopping around back and forth across VWAP. We're going to see what this market's got for me today, man. We're going to see what these markets got for me. Yeah, he's in Kick. He's in Kick, guys. I stream across YouTube, Kick, and X. For those of you that are not aware of that, Slothfather Trading is on the Kick stream. Real Deal Futures on YouTube, Real Deal Zach on Kick and on X. So we do have people on across. So yeah, man. We'll see. Maybe we do more than one. Maybe we do more than one. I don't know. But yeah, guys, nobody beg for it. That's not what I'm looking for. Hang out on stream and maybe you get a chance to win. Reading a couple messages on the outage. Yeah, it looks like still having issues. Looks like firms are still not saying all green. So yeah, I see a lot of people saying that it's back up, but I would be cautious, guys. I would definitely be cautious. Let's see what this market's got for us. Right back up to VWAP on this one, man. This is interesting here, guys. This is interesting. I'm curious to see where we go from here. We cracked to the downside, swept that low, swept that overnight Asia London session low, and we are moving right back up towards VWAP, man. Right back up towards VWAP. This is definitely an interesting movement out of the market. I'm curious to see if that's all we're gonna do. If we're just gonna chop back and forth here with a really tight range ahead of FOMC, I'm definitely not going to be completely surprised if that's all we do. Not gonna give me a trade if that's really all we do, but we will wait and see. Wait and see. Oh, trade of 8 sucks. Oh, yeah, not great today. Not great today, man. Not great today. Yeah, trade of 8 for the most part, guys, in my humble, biased opinion, right? Because I am biased in multiple factors here. I'll give you my 2 cents. This is Project X, right? While we're waiting for this market to do something, maybe that was it. Just a little crack down here. It's going to be a super tight range. Project X is a platform that was launched by TopStep or from TopStep or somebody partnered and affiliated with TopStep, right? Or TopStep themselves, who knows, right? But probably somewhat on the back end part of them. This was launched a little while ago, right? When this came out, I really preferred this. I preferred this to everything else, right? I love the user interface. I love the simplicity. Very fast as far as entering and exiting, you know, moving things around, the reporting, the risk settings, right? The ability to set parameters, the journaling, all that stuff. I like it, right? Really good, right? I even defended it through people talking about fills and slippage, right? All of these things. They had some issues. They had a couple, you know, excusable issues where it would go down or whatever it was. And they always seemed to handle it the right way, right? More and more firms made this available where it was almost always the go-to prop firm platform. But coming into the end of last year, and I made a whole video on this if you guys want to watch it, so I don't have to repeat it too much. But coming into the end of last year, the issues got worse and more frequent at an exponential rate, right? Where there was major back-to-back outages of a complete day of trading or right at the open, prices displaying, incorrectly, and an inability to trade for almost every single week, at least once, for like 7 or 8 weeks in a row. And at that point, and most traders, but I'll speak for myself, lost complete confidence in the platform, right? It turns into a complete unusable, unreliable, it's like having a really nice car, but every time you go to drive it, it throws a piston through the roof, and it's great, cool, it's a Lambo, but you drive it down to the end of your street and then you're walking the rest of your way, right? It just doesn't work. So for me, this is has not stood the test of time, and it's proven a lack of reliability. We'll see where they're at 6 months down the road, right? Maybe they don't melt down like that again. They correct whatever the back end issues are. Maybe they just couldn't handle all of the prop firms that were using it, and they pull it back and it gets better. But coming off of Project X, what would be my go-to choice is Tradeovate, NinjaTrader, TradingView, that combo. But specifically Tradeovate, trading from TradingView. Much more reliable outside of today. We'll see if that continues. Much more reliable, at least a history of being more reliable. And the ability to trade on a TradingView chart. My biggest gripe, my biggest nuance, and it's not with Tradeovate itself, it's really two things. Number one, the risk settings were not as clean. It's something that they're definitely working on. Not as clean and easy to lock yourself out, which I love for newer traders getting started, even though I really don't utilize them that much myself. But two is a TradingView chart lags. TradingView chart lags ever so slightly. And it's not that you don't pay for premium data, you don't pay for the data, none of that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a very small split-second lag in the way that the candles print. And that wasn't present on Project X, which was really cool, but it is still present on TradingView, and I don't like that. I don't like that as much. So, but that's what I'll be going to. That's what I'll be going to. As far as a platform being good or bad, it's in the eyes of the beholder, right? It's up to the individual. For me, reliability is first and foremost. Like, does it work? Can I trade on it? And Project X, after so many back-to-back issues, was proving that, that not to be true. So, Tradeovate's been around for obviously a long period of time. Let's see. Let's see how they handle today's issues. Let's see if this is something that starts to repeat itself as more and more prop firms are utilizing it, right? And the volume gets heavier and heavier. I don't expect that to be the case, but I didn't expect it with Project X either, honestly. So let's see. That's all I can say is let's see. Sucks to see them have an issue today. We will see. Yeah, you guys talking about the giveaway. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. No, don't worry. I got the giveaways worked out. I appreciate all the suggestions. I'll continue to adjust them. I'll continue to change some things up. Don't worry, guys. I literally just said that I was going to do something different on the next giveaway form. So, the goals for the giveaway, just so you guys know, is one, for the live stream, right? I'm streaming live every damn day here on YouTube, Kicking X. It's an incentive to be on the live stream if there's giveaways. It's also to reward those that are the most active here anywhere across anything to be actually hanging out on the live stream. So you have to be on the live stream to win. I've done the giveaway form in different spots to prevent scammers and spammers. I'll continue to make it a little bit difficult for those that are scamming and spamming. Even though if you do win through scamming and spamming, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot, because you're going to get banned from not only all of the future giveaways and all of my platforms, you're going to get banned from the prop firm. So I wouldn't do that. I don't know if you know that, but you get banned from prop firms and everywhere else, really, if you try to exploit giveaways. You're not allowed to do that. It's in the terms and service for all of them. You will be banned and potentially lose out on profits, payouts, whatever accounts that you're trading. So don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, we move it around. But yeah, all good. I'm not looking for recommendations on how to run the giveaways, but I appreciate them as always. Always take into consideration what you guys have. Right back to VWAP on this, man. Choppy, guys. Yuck here. Do we come right back through the high? You know, do we set up for a bullish movement here? Not as bad on ES. Yuck. Ugh. Take notes, guys. FOMC day. Take notes. Take notes here. It's not from me. Take notes on the market. Very interesting. Very interesting to see this. So we do have our initial balance high and low, 1030. We are going to look to trade past the IB high and low. Let's see what we get. We could talk about these. We could talk about the stats from Edgeful. This is going to be our initial balance high. This is going to be our initial balance low. Talk about these in just a second here. As we are dead set almost right in the middle of them. But I'll be right back, guys. Be right back. Not going anywhere. Stream's not over yet. I'll be right back. Back in action with you guys here. Let's see. Glenby tried to close the position. Say partials executed. Yeah, guys having issues. You're very sweet, Zach. Thank you for your time. Thank you. That's a very kind comment. I took multiple screenshots. Tried to send it to them. Let's see how they respond. Yeah, man. Yeah, issues. Let's see. Zach, you only swing trade stocks? No, man. No, I'll swing trade anything that deserves to be swing traded. For the most part, the only things that I'm really not touching these days are I really don't touch crypto at all outside of using it for the utility. Like if I get, receive payment in crypto or have to get sent crypto for something or for some reason, or I have to use crypto for something. That's really all I use it for. I don't. I'm exposed to crypto through things like the boomer like Grayscale Trust, but for the most part, I don't. I'm not really trading crypto or swing trading crypto or doing anything actively with crypto. And then same thing for Forex. I really, it's just too many markets to handle. I don't need that much exposure. I don't really love the setup for it anymore since coming over to the futures market. I really don't do much by way of Forex at all. But as far as swing trading goes, I will run overnight positions in my live personal futures brokerage if it presents itself. I've really taken my focus mostly to the point of your question. I've really taken my focus mostly to what I'm trying to get better at, where I'm trying to learn, and I'm always looking to be a student of the game and try to expand my knowledge into swing trading options, to swinging options in the stock market on specific stocks. I will also run positions on the U.S. indices with options, right? But that's been a focus of mine coming into this year. You can read my post in Discord. You can read my post on X. I love intraday trading futures. I love day trading with you guys. I love leveraging prop firms. But I think something we have to, look at as a whole, right, is at a core level, what are our goals, right? What do we want out of life itself, right? What does our, ability to work and do different things really look like? What are our strengths and weaknesses? What do we genuinely want to be doing? And then what is our experience level? What is our capital allocation? What is our risk tolerance? And then what's the best use of our time in the markets, right? Because trading is so widespread and vague. You could trade completely different ways, different instruments, different markets, different time frames, right? From hyper scalping on low time frames to just being an investor and having exposure to the markets, right? And placing no trades per year and just holding for forever. I don't know that extreme would be classified as trading, right? But look at what is working best for you, and then how you want to continue to make the most use of your time and capital and all those things that we talked about. So I think that continues to change for traders, and it's why you see traders as they progress. Not always. Some people just stay doing what they're doing, but it certainly is this way for me and for most. As they progress, right, throughout their journey as a trader, throughout their career, throughout their life, what exactly they're doing in the markets does shift. Not usually huge and drastically and very rapidly, because that just wouldn't make sense. But, you get more experience. Okay, that probably opens up some doors for you and maybe makes other things less use of your time, good use of your time. You gain more capital, right? How you want to utilize that capital in the most efficient way is going to change, right? So if you want to read specifically on that, where I was coming out of last year into this year, check out the posts in Discord. Check out the posts on X. It's a nice long write-up on Twitter. I talk about prop firms. I talk about utilizing prop firms. I talk about how you can go about utilizing prop firms in different ways. And I actually am going to make a YouTube video on like the use case for prop firms. This is actually a video I want to record today. Use case for prop firms, right? So, in my opinion, there's not one best way to do things, but, it comes down to you individually as a trader. Is this your first 6 months of trading and you have $500 to your name and you work a minimum wage job? Okay. That's going to look the best use of that person's time is probably going to be a little different than a person who's 6 months in, who has, a couple $1 million in net worth, right? Both of those people's, those version of a trader is going to look very different for somebody who is 6 years in and has $500 to their name, or 6 years in and has $5 million to their name, right? These are extreme cases, but that's just a difference in experience and capital allocation, right? Also, time. How much time do you have to trade? How much time do you want to trade, right? What responsibilities do you have? Some people are working a full-time job that they want to keep. Some people are parents, to multiple children. Some people are taking care of their parents, right? There's a million different things. Some people are going to trade full-time. They have all damn day. This is, what they love and, how they're going to make it, make it happen. So all of that stuff comes together to make like what you should and shouldn't be doing different. And I think it's really naive and silly, and it displays a lack of maturity for someone to say, this is what you should be doing. This is exactly what you should be doing. This is why you need to swing trade stocks only. This is why you need to trade Forex only. This is why you need to be intraday scalping for 20 minutes in the morning. There's a million different ways to skin this cat, man. And what's the best use of time and capital and energy and everything? It's going to come down to a lot of different things. For the most part, experience, capital allocation, and then general risk tolerance, right? Where you are in your life. All those things are going to play a really big role into what the hell you should and shouldn't be doing in the markets. So, prop firms, I think they are really, really good across the board for almost everybody. They're certainly more useful for some than they are others. And how you're going to trade them and utilize them is going to be very different across that. So think about that stuff, guys. Think about that stuff. And I'll continue to share from the back end, like some of where I'm placing my time and energy, right? For me, as I've gotten more experienced in the markets, in trading, right? As I've hit more goals with different things that I've set out to hit, right? Intraday trading, prop firms, futures market. As I amass more capital, you know, where I'm going to spend my time and where it makes sense to spend my time, what's scalable, you know, does make more sense for it just shifts. Excuse me, it doesn't make more sense. It shifts, right? So for me, what that looks like on the back end of what I'm doing here, right, and a lot of my time outside of trading intraday in the futures market with you guys every here in the morning on prop firms, is in live accounts, right? And a lot of that this year is swing trading more actively, and specifically getting better versed in options, you know, in order to do that, right? I like that as a vehicle to do that, as an instrument to do that with. Or at least I'm learning if I like that as a vehicle, an instrument to do that with, right? Too early to say. I like to give myself a lot of time. So I hope that helps. That helps answer that question. But have those big picture thoughts. What are your goals? Why are you here? What do you want to do with this? Where do you want to go with this, right? Okay, how much money do you have? How much experience do you have? You know, you making or losing money? You know, where are you at? And then, you know, how am I using my time? Does this make sense what I'm doing? Or am I just following what some idiot on YouTube, Zach, is doing, right? You know, or is there a better use of my time? So I think as a whole, where, I'll kind of finish with this. Prop firms, right? It's what everybody wants to know. Prop firms are a great use case across the board, across wide, you know, amounts of capital and experience. Where they are great is where most traders are, which is beginners, because almost nobody makes it. But where most traders are beginners and losing money, right? We know this. They're a great option for that because they limit downside risk. They have a fixed capped downside risk, which is the price of the account. And they give you a lot more capital, simulated capital, to work with as you suck at trading and you're losing money and you're learning how to grab some consistency. They have a very high potential return on investment if you start to gain some consistency and you're able to pull payouts. But first and foremost, they limit you, right? Whether people like to admit it or not, when you put money in a live account, every last dollar of that live account is on the line. We talk about using stop losses. We talk about not going on tilt, talk about controlling risk. Just like a prop firm is lost, live accounts are lost in the same way. So limiting that downside risk is great, right? If you're undercapitalized, also, majority of traders fall into this category. Not all. I did come to trading with a considerable amount of money for someone my age, at least in my humble, biased opinion of what I thought at the time. Not everybody has that, right? You know, so if you are very limited on capital, we know it takes money to make money. Prop firms are a great resource for that, leveraging outside capital, right? Really being able to create that, you know, high return on investment. So I think for all of those reasons, they're fantastic. As you grow as a trader, you know, what do I think becomes more valuable or starts to gain more value? Live accounts, right? Personal capital from an investment standpoint all the way down to a day trading standpoint, right? Are prop firms still useful? Absolutely, right? I think you'd be silly not to want to leverage them. But, you know, does somebody that is a 10-year market veteran with, you know, $10 million of net worth and $1 million of trading capital dedicated to, are they going to have the same benefit of trading, you know, a couple of instant funded accounts? Probably not, right? Probably it's just not going to be the same for them. Maybe they want to copy trade 100 accounts. Maybe they want to get to live accounts, prop firm live accounts, and scale them, right? You know, maybe it's still beneficial for them to spend their time and energy on, as it is for me. Not that I'm in that category that I just, to that extreme that I just stated. But does it make more sense also for them to focus on their live capital? Yeah, probably. You know, that person that I described maybe is making or losing hundreds of thousands of dollars per day, right? You physically can't do that with prop firms. You know, you can't have that level of exposure and risk on. So that upside opportunity and downside opportunity. So that's kind of the thought process, guys, as it goes on. I hope this helps. I hope this is helpful. If you want more details, if you have questions, if you want me to, you know, give you my 2 cents on where you're at personally, feel free, hop in Discord. I'm always happy to talk about it. But don't lose sight of that, because so many traders get so hyper focused and they're doing just one thing, and you know, before you know it, years go by and you didn't build the skill set that you really were intending to build here. So it's important to think about that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, so we were talking about that. Took multiple screenshots and sent to them. Let's see. Very individualist experience. Yep, great summary and balance. Yep, profit is the best way to getting exposed to the markets. Yeah. Again, my humble, biased opinion, right? Again, I think it's different for everybody. That's what you have to recognize. It's different for everybody. Don't always watch what everybody else is doing, because you're not everybody else. You don't have the same money as them. You don't have the same time as them. You don't have the same experience as them. You might have more. You might have less of all of those categories. But that's really going to impact, how you should be spending your time. It's up to you to decide what the most efficient use of your time is, which is very important. It's finite. We only have so much every single day and in our lifetime before we die. Use it carefully. That's my thoughts. Man, watching this market chop back around VWAP, trade to the outside, trade back into the inside here. This is really interesting, guys. Very tight initial balance, which is our daily range and our session range so far. Our current daily candle and current session candle right here, obviously for the session since it hasn't broken out. Interested to see where we go from here. Very interested to see where we go from here. Very interested to see. But, so I'll talk technicals while we're hanging out on here. Watching to see. I wanted to see now if we broke to the downside or upside, what this would look like. I'm only going to hang out for so long, but I'm not going anywhere just yet. To talk about this real quick, since it's coming to an end this week, I love free stuff. I know you guys love free stuff. This has been free for a while. It's not about to be free anymore. Edgeful. Edgeful is a data and... Whoa. Edgeful is a data and statistic provider. It's a paid software program. They were running a free discount for a free trial for a long period of time. It's coming to an end. Initial balance. First 1 hour high and low, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. This is Edgeful. The link that I just put in the chat gives you access to this for free for 7 days. It's a paid monthly subscription that you have to pay for. It's ending. I actually shared the email that I got, talking about it. I think it's an awesome platform. Obviously, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, but I'm going to make you guys aware. You're probably going to get sick and tired of me the rest of this week because I'm going to say it over and over and over again. If you haven't tried this out yet, if you haven't checked it out yet, if you haven't used a free trial on this, I would consider it. I think there's very low risk on trying something out for free. But that's up to me. It's up to you to decide. Anyway, here's an example of what you could do on Edgeful, right? Data and statistic provider. Initial balance. Breakout report, right? This level right here and here is our initial balance. First 1 hour opening range. Maybe you say, hey, that's great, Zach. You got two stupid ass lines in your chart. What's the opportunity for those to break? What does it look like if one of those sides break? How often do we break those? How often do we not break those? What happens after we break those? How far do we typically push to the upside? How far do we retrace back in? Which side is more likely to break first? All of that has a statistic around it, right? These are objective pieces of information. It's not my opinion on whether or not this has happened over the last 6 months of data, right? So what you could see, something like this report from Edgeful, over the last 6 months on YM, the initial balance, the first 60-minute opening range, if we break one side, if we come up and break this high, or come up and break this, or down and break this low, 77.69% of the days that has happened, we have not broke the other side. We have a single break. Less than 20%, we've broken both sides. And a very small percent of the time, small sliver of the time, we've had no break. You might say, hey, Zach, that's great. I need more data than that. I need to know what happens over the last 2 years. I want to see that over a large sample size. What does that data look like? Boom. You can look at that. 73% of the time, right? It widens out a little bit. You might say, hey, Zach, that's cool. I want to know about specific weekday. I want to know by size. I want to know how far we typically break out, right? All of that stuff is available from Edgeful. You might say, hey, Zach, that's great. I don't give a shit about, excuse my language today. I curse, guys. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more open about that and just show up as my normal self. You might say, hey, Zach, I don't give a shit about that. Show me, gap fill. Show me the midnight retracement. Show me outside days, inside days, average daily ranges, right? These are all reports that are available on Edgeful, okay? So if you guys want to check it out, again, I'm partnered, I'm biased, I stand to make money from Edgeful. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. I use this stuff myself. I think it's pretty helpful. I don't think it's magic. I don't think it's the end-all be-all. I don't think you have to use it or you can't make money trading. I don't think it's going to give you some inherent win rate in the market, the way that it's often discussed incorrectly. Do I think it's useful? Absolutely. Do I think it's useful for free? Definitely. 7-day free trial. Link is in the chat if you want to check it out. Boom. That's the banner for this one. Feel free to check it out. Set your trade, stop, take profit, leave it, and touch one. Don't check the other. My main problem is reversing trades when they go against me and then have to turn around again only when they hit my target. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that. That's a good question. It's a good question. Why is the market sideways in FOMC? Is it always like this? Like usually in high impact, does it go up like that or right? It's a good question, Time Pass Core. Read the message in the main Discord and go back and watch the beginning of this video. First 10 minutes of this live session after I hop on, as I pull up the news calendar. I read what I posted in Discord, but I talk about that specifically. So this way, so I don't repeat it. Watch that beginning portion. And I encourage you guys to do something. I encourage you guys all to do what I discussed on here. Now, main problem is reversing trades when they go against me. Tim, yeah, Purple Ninja. Here's a really simple thing to do, which is exactly what Purple Ninja suggested, right? Don't touch it. Most traders, in my humble opinion, and what I wish I did, should not be actively managing their trades. Meaning, set a take profit, set a stop loss, and then walk away. Is that the best way to trade? Is there maybe a better thing to do, which would be moving your stop loss to break even, scaling in, scaling out, moving your stop loss up, you know, letting a runner run? Sure, probably. But guess what? If you can't correctly and effectively manage a trade at all first, you shouldn't be managing it. You shouldn't be touching it, right? And, you know, different people and traders will talk about this. Al Brooks calls it the Walmart trade. Set the trade and go to Walmart, right? Set it and forget it is the other comment. Enter your trade, put a fixed take profit and stop loss. I would also encourage you to put an alert at your take profit and at your stop loss so you can double check to make sure that you're actually taken out of the market, because walking away from your screen while a trade's on does leave an inherent amount of risk for intraday trading. That's not great. But if you can't manage your trade, which most traders cannot until they can actually let the thing run to a fixed take profit and fixed stop loss, you shouldn't be touching it. So set the trade and then log out of everything, walk away, and then come back to that the next day. Literally don't look at the market, don't open it, delete the app from your phone, whatever you have to do. Run away, run down the street. Let the damn thing play out, right? Track the data and then review what's working and what's not working. You know what most traders do? Exactly what I did, exactly what, you know, probably you're doing here. Constantly close the winning trade early. Constantly move the stop loss farther away and realize a larger stop than they wanted to, right? Add into the stop, add into a trade and drawdown. Hold, or even just hold all the way to the stop loss without doing anything too crazy, but then never hold to a take profit, right? You know, take yourself out of the equation first, then track what's actually working and not working. It's incredibly difficult to trade in general, right? It's hard to find a good spot to enter based on whatever tools you're using. Once the trade's on and the P&L is flashing, your equation first. Why? What happened here? Did I lose stream? Y'all guys still with me here? What happened? What happened? Stream buffering. Hang on. We back? We back in action here, guys? Spirit fingers? What happened? Yeah, we're good. There we go. I don't know. It tripped up on me. Did something a little sketchy. We're good. We're good. We're good. I didn't go anywhere. But yeah, that's what I would do, guys. All right, that's what I would do. Right? If you want to get long, you know, get long. Set your fixed take profit, and then walk away. Walk away. Right? You can't handle watching this just yet. Okay? You can't handle this. What are you gonna do? That's excuse me. That's a short. What are you gonna do? You're going to widen out, widen out, widen out. You're going to add in over here. You're going to hold it all the way to the stop loss. And as soon as we come into profit here after doing this, what are you going to do? Close out, right? Majority of traders do this. We know this for a fact. That's actually not an opinion. Majority of traders actually have a winning win rate and a very negative risk to reward that inherently creates a negative expectancy, right? Where they're losing money over time. And most of that doesn't come down to picking trades. Most of that doesn't come down to the spot that you're entering. It comes down to trade management. Majority of traders, in my humble opinion, are suffering from poor trade management. And if they just took themselves out of the equation, they would at least begin to be able to create an edge in the market. But before you could do that, you can't even, you can't even start. So, and here's another piece. If you can't put a trade on and take yourself out of the equation and let the thing run to stop loss and take profit, you find so much resistance. I think you need to take money off the line completely. I think you need to stop trading, go back to demo, and I think you need to read some trading psychology books. Like, if you struggle to do what we're even describing, to just see what happens, you should not be trading at all. You really shouldn't be trading at all. And again, that might be hard to hear, but I think that's important. So start there. And I wish I started there. Start with a fixed take profit and stop loss. And I don't mean fixed by like 20-point take profit, 20-point stop loss, 1-to-1. It doesn't have to be that. I mean, put a stop loss in, put a take profit in. That can change trade by trade. That can change by volatility and market structure. It could be whatever you want. But once you decide on the opportunity and where your invalidation level is and where you would like to be out, get out of the way of the trade. And for that matter, you can scale out. You could set multiple take profit levels that will automatically trigger as you go. A little bit more difficult to do. In Trade Evade, actually, also, just to give you guys the heads up, because we're all coming over to Trade Evade, there's ATM, there's automated trade management, right? You can set an automatic stop loss to break even level. You can set a scale out. You can set a trailing stop loss. You could set stop loss plus a level, right? Break even plus, right? But get yourself out of the trade before you have the experience and discretion and control to manage it, which very few traders do. Almost all, man. Almost all, until you get to the much more consistent level, are going to be better fixed take profit, fixed stop loss. So I hope this helps. Working smoothly, we're good. We're back. Hanging out, watching this market, man. We did a giveaway already. We might run another one. We're gonna chill here. We're gonna chill. I'm watching this market sit at break even. Sit at VWAP here. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer. We're coming into the 11 o'clock. I want to see if we get a little bit of volatility coming in before I just say I'm going to touch some grass. But I didn't want to click the stream too early just because it's FOMC day. I'm no trade. I'm happy to be flat coming into FOMC. We'll see where we go from here. Maybe I get something on into the afternoon, but it's not uncommon for the market to do what it's doing right here. Again, which we talked about at the beginning of the stream, if you want to go back and get my 2 cents on FOMC days. How important you believe is trade only one instrument as day trading? Miguel, yeah, here's my opinion on that. I think it's important. It's a good question. And feel free to ask questions in the chat, guys. While we're hanging out, watch this market, not do anything. I'm happy to just talk about trading. If I can't get a trade on, I'm happy to yap about it. I think it's really important. I think if you're going to be intraday trading the way most traders are, day trading, right? Mostly scalping, pretty low time frames. You're probably better suited to just trade one instrument, to get really hyper-focused, and this is what worked best for me, really hyper-focused on one individual instrument, whether that's one US indice or gold or whatever you want to trade. Being really hyper-focused on one, you create a really good relationship and feel for that market. You create a really good understanding of the volume, the volatility, how it moves through different times of the year, what the price action and structure looks like across news events, across, different openings and closes, right? You get a really good understanding of that. The benefit of that, in my humble opinion, outweighs the downside, which is, pigeonholing yourself to one instrument and losing opportunity. I think if you're going to swing trade, if you're going to trade much higher time frames, right? Sure, trading more instruments can make sense because they move so slow. We're talking days and weeks of time, maybe, right? You know, you're not gonna need, and you're gonna have much less opportunities there. You know, so but I think for day trading, for the most part, I don't see many traders trade everything under the sun that are consistent. I just don't. I see them trade one thing, right? They're usually a specialist. NQ, they just trade gold. They just trade YM. Maybe they trade 2 or 3 things. They bounce between like 2 or 3. It was really interesting to have MLT Eric on the show, who does trade kind of a nice, you know, portfolio of the US indices, which was, and even metals, which was interesting to see. But most traders hyper focus on one because you have an edge there. There's an edge in that discretion, the way that price action and market structure forms, whatever tools you're using. If you trade with indicators, if you trade with anything under the sun, if you just focus on one, in my opinion, you will be better at trading that one than you would be had you focused on 10, right? So for day trading, you know, specifically, but I've been trying to get better at, because that's what I do. But I've been trying to get better at also saying, like, if you're going to swing trade, if you're going to trade higher time frames, right? And you see this a lot more in the Forex market, or with stocks, right? Or even with options. You know, there's an edge in picking the top performer or conditions that are right for you in whatever way that you trade across multiple different instruments, right? And again, I think that's more acceptable because it's way slower, right? It's way slower. You know, you are able to process information across many of them at the same time because we're not staring at candles print over and over and over again, right? You know, maybe you're trading primarily the daily chart, you know, the 4-hour chart, the weekly chart, monthly. So, you know, hopefully that answers that question. But again, I think there's a reason that you see consistent traders, profitable traders, not trading everything under the sun. They're usually on the same instrument. If they make a change, like me, they're usually on that next one for a while. If they do trade multiple things, it's also usually not everything under the sun. It's usually a couple. You know, again, differences between that and higher time frame, you know, holding positions for days and weeks at a time. You know, this is much different, right? Much different there. But double-edged sword, right? Always a double-edged sword, as with every decision in the markets and life. You know, the downside of that is maybe I only trade YM, right? And if I trade YM, NQ, ES, gold, and silver on a day where YM is doing what it's doing and I don't have an opportunity, maybe gold is moving really cleanly and it's making higher highs and higher lows. It's a beautiful trend, and that would have presented an opportunity, right? And now I have more opportunity to trade because I'm paying attention to multiple instruments for day trading, right? That's the disadvantage of only focusing on one. So there's always, I don't know something that there's very few things that are a clean, this is the best way, no downside, right? There's almost always that downside that you have to think about and work with. So, but those are my 2 cents. That's my thought. Thank you. It helps a lot. Set it and forget it. Leave it alone. Yeah, Tim. Absolutely, man. Spy's about to fill the gap. Nice. Yeah, Tim. Here's the thought, man. Again, I would set small goals in trading. Can you put a trade on and let it run to the take profit and stop loss? If you can't do that, what makes you think you would be able to actively manage the trade better than just letting it run to the fixed take profit and stop loss, right? It begs that question. So climb hill number 1. Set those trades. It's painful to do. It's frustrating when you're not watching. Take yourself out. I mean, set it and then don't watch it. I'd run away. There's literally nothing else to do. It's just noise now. And then journal those trades, review what's working, you know, widen out take profit, widen out stop loss, tighten up somewhere, multiple take profit levels, you know, and then go from there. You know, that's where I would start. Then apply your discretion, right? But you got to be a little bit more systematic before you can apply that. Agree with that. Intraday trading is already a very fast environment. If you're looking for more than one, it's likely you're going to be missing something, getting out early, over trading, etc. The Walmart trade hit home. Yeah, the Walmart trade hit home. Yeah, that's from Al Brooks. Again, that's not mine. Call it the Walmart trade. Put the trade on. Go to Walmart. Go to Walmart. Distract yourself. Go shopping at Walmart. Go walking around. No computer, no phone. You know, do something different, and then come back and look at what happened. All right. And if you do that consistently, at very least, you're doing the baseline of what you need to do as a trader, which is figure out what the hell's working and what's not working, right? Outside of jacking up all of the trades, just because that's the obvious main point, if you're doing something different every single day, if you're all over the place with trade management, and you know that's a downside of using your discretion, you have no idea what works. You might make money one week and lose money the next week, but you don't know why you made money or why you lost money. You have nothing that's repeatable. You have nothing that's scalable. So, you know, outside of like it not working, it also doesn't give you a way to do the same thing over and over again. So even if you started to make something work, you're all over the map. You're randomly closing and opening positions all over the place. You will never be able to gain consistency because you're not doing anything consistent, right? So, you know, start with consistency and then go from there. And again, I'm not saying that setting a fixed take profit and stop loss is the best way to manage trades. In fact, I don't think it is. But before you can take baby steps, you know, you got to do that before you can run marathons, right? You got to work your way into it. So I wish I did that. I wish I had somebody grab me by the shirt and go, stop touching the trades, bro. Get away. Like, just put the trade on and then let it be a winner. Put the trade on, let it be a loser. Go back and take a look. What worked? What didn't work here? Let me adjust, right? You know, do that for 20 trades, 30 trades, and then review and make an adjustment. But I wish I really, it's always easier said than done. I wish I did that earlier on. I'd be way better off. Way better off. Painful start on that. So, watch this thing push back up to the upside, guys. I don't know on this, man. After 11 here, I think you know what we're gonna get ready for here. Yeah, man, that's the sauce of the day. Guess what time it is, guys? Plot twist. We're running another giveaway. And plot twist, giveaway form is live in the YouTube and Kick chat. And I'll even throw it for you guys on X because we're non-discriminatory across platforms. Bear with me, I'll get it to you guys on X. I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes. We're running 2 giveaways today. This is the second one. This is a new form. You have to fill the new form out. The form is only going to be on the YouTube, Kick, and X live streams. It's not going to go in Discord because I'm changing it up on you guys, keeping everybody on their toes. We ran one earlier. We're running one late today. If you're on here, I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. No trade on the day so far. Choppy ass pre-FOMC session. I'm happy to be no trade, but I'm happy to get you guys funded. So go ahead, check that one out if you guys want a chance to win. Remember, only fill it out one time. If you fill it out more than one time, you're not only going to get banned from all future giveaways and all of my stuff, but you're going to get banned from the prop firm, man. Don't do that. Don't ruin the fun. But I'm not going to repeat that more than one time and be annoying to you guys. But I do have to say it. I do physically have to say it to remind you guys. So if you're here on X, what's up? In the X live chat is the giveaway form. You guys want to go ahead and fill it out. So let's go ahead and run it. 3 minutes. I'm going to give you guys until 11. 11. Let's go for that. 11. We'll run duck race number 2 of the day. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always, man. If you're enjoying this stream, please feel free. Smash the like button. I asked for no likes today. I asked for no subscriptions or anything. I don't really like to ask for anything, honestly. You guys can do whatever you're going to do. I'm going to be on here streaming either way, so we're going to be running giveaways and having fun either way, man. But if you find value and you want to be part of the community, I'd be more than happy to have you in the 100% free trading community. I'll throw that link in chat again. Feel free to hop in. If you like the stream, you want to hang out with somebody that trades live every damn day, that shows you what real trading looks like for them, not a bunch of BS, I'm happy to do that with you guys. Unfortunately, today, that looks like no trade, right? I don't claim to be the best trader. I know we got new people on here because I can see how many people are on. I don't claim to be the best trader. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I think I got some juice. I've been trading the same damn live account with you guys here for the last 4 months from a prop firm that I was moved into in October that I've taken about a dozen payouts from. You might say, hey, that kid sucks. I don't care. Whatever, man. Fade me. I'm happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to show you what my journey looks like and hopefully provide some value, man. This is what I wanted to see when I was coming up. I try to model my stuff out of what I wish I had earlier on in my trading journey, the communities that I wanted to be a part of, the access to traders that were doing what I wanted to do, to ask questions and to interact with them for free, because I run all my stuff free 99, no course, no VIP, no mentorship, no paid nothing, man. I'm partnered and affiliated with firms and software companies that I stand to make money from, right? Make money on the back end in a lot of areas there, but nothing that you physically have to pay for. You can win an account for free. You don't have to hit like, you don't have to subscribe. You have to fill a form out. But, you know, don't subscribe, don't like, don't pay for anything. Maybe win an account, hang out, watch me trade. Cool, man. Awesome. You want to use something that I talk about, that I use myself, that I'm paid to talk about after you do your own research and make your own decisions. Awesome, man. That's great. But either way, do whatever's best for you. I always try to say that. But that's the MO, guys. That's the MO. Looking for a big year this year, man. I'm excited. While it's coming into 11-11, get the form filled out, guys. Last chance. I'm excited for a big year this year. I could feel it. I could feel the breakout, man. I could feel that next level up. I can feel it in intraday trading. I can feel it in swing trading. I can feel it across the board, man. So hang out with me, man. Be on the live streams. Be in the Discord. This way you don't go, oh, wait a minute. Wait. What the hell we got going on? What's this kid talking about? You know, XYZ, right? I've hit a lot of goals last year. I slowed myself down in certain areas. I refocused in certain areas. I've been grinding a lot on the same stuff that you see me do every damn day. I could feel it. I could feel it. This month was a frustrating one, man. It was very back and forth in this live account earlier on this month, for sure. And coming into the end of this month, it's like no trade here, right? Frustrating, definitely frustrating. And that frustration used to really piss me off. Used to be angry. You know, why aren't I getting, you know, these results that I want? You know, what's going on? But now I know. I've been through this so many times in trading, in sports. I made a couple reels about this. I know what's coming next. I know that next level, man. It's the consolidation. It's the last liquidity sweep before all-time highs, before you blast off. So I'm excited for this year. No crazy expectations. You know, I let things be. I tell myself I'm going to be doing what I'm doing, progressing out here until I die. I leave myself no other option, even though that sounds drastic. You know, so whatever happens, happens. But I can feel it. I can feel it this year, chat. I can feel the blast off coming. All right, guys, we have another duck race getting loaded up here. We have another 70 some odd ducks in a row. This is going to be for another Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures before we run the duck race, remember you do have to be in the live stream to win it. I don't know how you would be on the forum and not in the live stream if you won. That doesn't make any sense. But if you want to check out Top 1 Futures one more time before we run it, and then I'm sure a bunch of you hop off and we wrap up the stream, here is the link to check it out in the chat. This is 60% off with code RDF. Top 1 Futures is one of the baddest ass prop firms in the space, man. They're slept on heavy, in my humble biased opinion. Don't miss a shot to get 60% off. Put them up against the competition, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna plug it. Put them up against the competition. Open up the firm sites. Look at the rules. Look what you have to do to get paid out. Look at how much you're able to get paid out. Look at how much profit you have to put up. The max loss limits, the daily loss limits, everything in between. You decide this stuff for yourself, man. Check it out. So, now that we got that out of the way, good luck, everybody. 3 minutes on the clock. Let's run it. Let's run it. Must be filled out again. Yes, new forum. Yes. Let's go, guys. Hit the like button. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Chat, you guys are awesome. Thank goodness for you. I've paid for communities, and then come to find out there's no real value. You don't get what you expected. Much appreciated. Absolutely, man. I'm you know, I've done different stuff in the past, guys. I'm happy to do it this way. I really am. You know, I think, sure, there's a time investment anywhere you go to spend time, but I really do like the mutually beneficial relationship of not charging for anything, just sharing what works for me. And I think in a very worst case scenario, which I've paid for and also not paid for, you watch my stuff, you follow along, you hop on my, my streams, you watch my content, you're in my community, and you find something that you don't like. You find a mindset or an approach or something that doesn't seem to work well for you, or you just don't think works at all. And that can be really valuable, right? There's a lot of information, a lot of ways to do this. Figuring out what you don't like, what doesn't work for you, is a value in itself. So I think at a very worst case, which is, I hope, not the only thing that I provide, maybe you find what you don't like. Maybe you find something that you don't want to utilize in your trading, and you can move on to, someone else or some other community or something from there. In the best case, maybe you hang out, you find stuff you do like, you find some value. I provide some value in more ways than just that. Maybe you win some accounts. You connect with traders outside of just myself in a community. You see what's going on for them. You get more perspective. You find more things you like and you don't like. And, we all move this needle forward in this journey towards profitable trading. So, that's kind of my MO, guys. But again, I try to repeat that because so many people have this other, like way that they talk and speak, right? And the way they present themselves. I don't claim to be the best, far from it. I still make mistakes. I'm a student of the game. I'm here learning every single day. I don't have it all figured out, right? Again, I think I've got some juice. I display that for free. You can decide whether or not, your opinion of me and my trading and what I do. But I'm happy to show you, at a core level there, what all this stuff looks like. The good and the bad, because there's been plenty of good displayed in my journey. And there's been plenty of bad, right? So if you're here, I appreciate you, man. That's the baseline. But again, I'll never ask you to stay. You guys do what's best for you. Same with buying accounts, buying software, any of the stuff that I talk about. Do what's best for you, man. Find a good use of your time. Time is finite. It is extremely valuable. Use that time in the way that you see fit. Now, 10 seconds to go. BT Trades down at the bottom. And Enrique Corvez, the number 47 duck. Muhammad up front. Down on the bottom, Chris A.S. Paul Memphis looking strong. Colby Clark out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, we got another Discord OG. Wait, who won it on the first one? Slothfather won on the first one? Dude, the Kick Boys are winning it. Colby Clark is almost always on Kick. We'll see if he's in YouTube or Kick today. We got W's in the chat for Colby Clark, the number 7. Is that like a taxi driver hat? Taking the W on this one. Not to get excited that, Discord OGs win. I'm happy when anybody wins, but it's always nice to see somebody that's been here for a long time win something who hasn't won before, or maybe win a second time if they're here every single day. Colby Clark taking the W, getting himself a 50K instant-funded account from Top 1 Futures. There he is. He's in Kick. Yes, sir. So guys on YouTube, don't freak out. Like I said, we stream across multiple platforms here. You could be on YouTube, Kick, or X. You got to say what's up in the chat. There he is. Yes, sir. Thanks, bro. Taking the W from Kick, man. I love to see it, man. Love to see it. Yeah, can't fill the form out. It's done. I don't like the consistency rule and payout cap in Top 1 Futures. Yeah, Business Lens, put them up against the competition. If you find another account that has a wider consistency rule and a bigger payout cap, all things considered, let me know. Let me know. Shoot me a message. I'm happy to review it with you. For the most part, I hear a lot of people comment different things like, I could pay out $5,000 from Top Step, for example, right? I could take a $5,000 payout from Top Step. We're talking about Top 1. Okay, from a 50K account, right? Side by side. Look at what you have to do to get a $5,000 payout versus what you have to do with Top 1. For Top Step, for example, you have to put up $3,000 to pass the account. Then you have to put up $10,000 before you can take a $5,000 payout. With a consistency rule in the eval and a minimum trading days, which is technically not a consistency rule, in the funded account, right? So over the course maybe of 7 days at best, you would put up $13,000 and take a $5,000 payout. In Top 1, there is a tighter payout cap per payout, $2,500, but all you have to do is put up $3,000. $3,000 profit target, $2,500 payout. There's a consistency rule, 20% across the board for all of it. There is no funded, there's no eval, there's no sim eval that you have to take, but there is a consistency rule, right? There's different trade-offs across all of these. There's different minimum trading days rules across them. There are different platforms. There's different things you have to do to work towards these payouts. There's different prices associated with these accounts. But, try to put the full, spectrum in when you compare these. And I used to fail to do that myself. I'd only look at the shit that I wanted to look at. Excuse my language again. Put them side by side. Max loss limit, profit target, daily loss limit, types of drawdown, what you have to do to get paid out, consistency rule, minimum trading days, and then what the transition looks like to a live account, copy trading, but try to be objective about this stuff. Put them side by side. I encourage you to do that. Again, not to say Top 1 is the best for everybody, because it won't be. There will certainly be people that it will not be the best for. The same way other firms out there will not be the best, which is also why I think it's kind of silly and either disingenuous or naive when someone who's partnered or affiliated with a firm especially says, this is the best. This is the best. Well, the best for who? It depends. Wish somebody taught these ducks to turbo speed like how Zach does on stream. You can always learn if you want to. I dig the realness. Yeah, man. You could always learn. Alan, I agree, man. I agree. You could always learn. Chris A. Absolutely. What's up, man? W's in the chat. Hella W's in the chat. So damn close. So damn close. Yeah, hella W's in the chat. Kobe Clark taking the win on that one. Guys, if you won today, you will get the account directly from Top 1 Futures. Let's talk markets before I get ready to wrap this up. I talked a lot about this in Discord. I didn't tell you what I expected. I didn't tell you what you should expect. I encourage you to take into context, take into context FOMC today at 2 p.m. and what the market was going to look like today. And then maybe review that over a large sample size. This is the market that we got today so far, guys. This, to me, is not great. This is not something that, in general, is going to generate a beautiful winning trade. Maybe with a wick a little bit higher and a push a little bit lower, which is exactly the way that I wanted to trade this today. My levels were just too far out, right? The zone that we chopped in was just too tight. This is what I was looking for, right? This is realistically what I would have been looking for today. Something around this, roughly, right? Maybe I was going to get a little bit more hungry on the long down here. This is what I would be looking for. We got that movement, but we just didn't get, my areas hit. Do we do this every day on FOMC? Do we chop every day? No, I don't think so. But take a look. You go back and back test this stuff for yourself. Look at FOMC days in the past. Review today. Very choppy, consolidating, to be expected ahead of a big rate. I think the rest of the week could be an interesting trade. We are FOMC rate today at 2 and 2:30 p.m. We are unemployment tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. I'd be very cautious the rest of the week as we have a lot of red folder news, but it could kick us into gear. Could definitely get us moving. But for me, guys, no trade today, at least so far. I don't know that I'm taking anything aggressive into the afternoon here on YM. I think we're probably going to be running up against that 2 p.m. rate, and I don't think that I want to YOLO my prop firm live account into FOMC. Maybe something beautiful sets up. I'll try to call it out in Discord if it does. Happy to be hands off and not, long or short in the middle of this, just sitting through drawdown or even worse, taking a stop out. So, on that note, guys, where was my schedule? We got Ace of Trades on stream tomorrow. A heavy hitter. New trader who has not been on my stream just yet. Obviously, as you can see from this week, I had more days than not that either I was on a stream or I had somebody else on my stream. We got another trader coming on stream tomorrow. I am hyped for this one. You are not going to want to miss it. Really, really, really awesome story from this gentleman and a hell of a trader. We got different experience levels on this show. I go on different shows with different experience levels. I don't think you're going to want to miss this one, guys. If you want to check it out, it'll be right here tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Kick and X. RealDealFutures.com if you want all the damn links. Link to Top 1 Futures and code down below, code RDF. Link to Edgeful down below this video and in the chat if you want to check it out before that 7-day free trial ends. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here. Fun stream, man. Gave away multiple accounts over 2 hours. Had some fun with you guys. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top on Futures, Code RDF, Bookmap, Edgeful, and others. Chat, you guys are crazy. I see you guys blowing it up, spamming the chat. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a great rest of the trading day. Trade safe into the afternoon, guys. Structure your risk. Talk to y'all soon. Thanks.